Why hello, I'm a bunny, and this is my review for Shin Megami Tensei 5. So just so you guys know, I've now beaten this game 8 times. 4 of those runs were for the ending videos I did. One was to clean up some missing demons, to get my compendium to 100%, and also to route my speedruns, and 3 were speedruns. I currently hold the Any % New Game Plus Reborn World Record at 2 hours, 30 minutes, and 40 seconds. My game time clocks in just under 100 hours. I did all the side quests, maxed out my levels on my MC and multiple demons. Even did an ending analysis video, so I feel like I'm now prepared to review this game. Anyhow, I'm going to start off with the difficulties. There are 4 of them. I've played all of them for at least a little bit. One of them is called Safety, and it's a free DLC from the Nintendo eShop. I highly recommend that one if you hate turn-based RPGs and just want to like explore the open world, see what the story has in store for you, that sort of a thing. Or if you just want to speedrun the game, like that's perfectly fine in my opinion. The graphics for this game are literally best in class for Atlas up until this point, in my opinion. I really enjoy seeing these demons fleshed out in full HD. Like, the character models just blow me away, and there's 200 something of them at this point if you include the DLC. Yes, it's the Switch. Yes, there's some frame rate limitations. Yes, there's some load time issues, for sure. I've also noticed a lot of those demon models don't really articulate very much. They tend to just like float in place if they have wings, or just stand around and like lightly, you know, breathe in and out sort of a thing. However, while that was a touch disappointing, the sheer amount of the attacks during the battles and the amazing animations for some of the series' favorite demons more than make up for that particular issue. When it comes to the sound quality of this game, which I'm playing the OST in the background right now, I'm not even kidding you when I say probably most of my favorite songs that I've ever listened to come from Atlas's sound team, and I have a new few favorites in this game just right off the bat. There's so many unique songs for the big bosses. There's a couple maze levels where the music fits the tone perfectly. It's trying not to distract you, sort of a thing. I have only one issue with the sound in this game, and it's that I can't buy the soundtrack. When the Collector's Edition came out, I literally had a freaking timer webpage on, and I like refreshed that page, you know, before the time hit 0, and no matter what I did, I could not obtain that game, unfortunately. And I just refused to pay like $200 for it on eBay or whatever. Like, I'm not that hardcore, or that rich is probably more the issue. But yeah, that's my only issue with the soundtrack, is that I don't have it. Like, I don't want to listen to it on YouTube. I don't want to like illegally download it. I want to have an official, streamlined, beautiful copy somewhere where I can listen to it for road trips or on my phone, like, because I love Atlas music like that much. I'm sorry, I'm being a complete nerd. Anyways, so how about the gameplay? This game combines the systems from SMT 3 and 4. The app purchases from SMT 4 are back. They just call that miracles in this game instead. You purchase those points. You purchase the miracles by finding points in 3 different ways. You can either get items from boss fights or from Mitama. You can find these like white glowing spheres on the overworld map, or you can let me see, what was the third one? My brain's tired. Oh yeah, the Me-Men, those weird 200 little red boys you see floating around the map there. So yeah, I mean, a couple different ways to decide how you want to do it. Honestly, I hated collecting the Me-Men personally. I didn't ever find them all. I didn't find that I missed out on too much other than the items that you get for every 5 that you turn in outside of the first one. Anyhow, I really didn't like too that I couldn't carry over the progress of the Me-Men into a New Game Plus, but I also simultaneously like that I can still get those rewards again on a New Game Plus, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword there. Anyhow, the most useful miracles that I personally found were allowing the demons to use items, especially if you're going to farm the Matama, allowing for the Nahobino to use unique skills, and allowing for the Magatsui to increase your health and your MP every turn that you choose not to cash it out, basically as a limit break for a mega damaging skill. The environments are just perfectly crafted. They're like an open world meets a puzzle, and they have goodies hidden around every corner. Treasure boxes have essences, which are this cool new feature where you can overwrite demon skills into an existing demon or even your MC without losing a demon in the fusion process. So, and the really nice thing is too, you can, if you choose to fuse that demon later, you can have those skills inherited to your future demon. So I feel like it just gives you some extra variety. Not only that, but a really cool feature is you can actually inherit the resistances and weaknesses into the MC through those skills as well. So you have like a couple different options at your disposal with those essences. A lot of them are found in treasure boxes, but a demon that has learned all of its skills will sometimes just give you one when it levels up. And then also you can buy them from the shop at certain points in the game. So really cool feature, especially useful if you're going to play on hard mode. It's basically necessary to maximize those essences. So the difficulty, I just have to laugh at that because I'm like, it's freaking SMT, right? Like, duh. So to get to the difficulty, I kind of feel like I have to go through the setting a little bit. This is a post-apocalyptic world where you fight against gods for survival, and the difficulty reflects such realities, I believe, you know? Hard mode, I would just call that go fuck yourself mode, like, or punishment mode or something. I'm not saying that you shouldn't play it. I'm just saying, like, probably not your first run if you're an SMT newbie. If you're a freaking veteran, if you hard moded Nocturne, definitely fucking throw it on hard mode right away and just enjoy the game over screen and enjoy the music and just try not to like get too mad at the game. The game will let you change your difficulty at any time, but if you change out of hard mode, you cannot go back into hard mode until you hit a New Game Plus or a vanilla file. So that's just something to keep in mind. I personally beat the game on hard run on a vanilla file, and you don't get anything special for doing it other than bragging to people who, the kinds of people that brag about that stuff also did it too. So you're just saying like, hey guy, did you like play SMT? They're like, yeah, I also played it. Wait, did you play it on hard though? And they're like, yeah though, dude, I totally did. So really you're only preaching to a choir at that point, so I wouldn't get too hung up on that nonsense. Honestly, the most useful skill in the game for me was Estoma, especially on hard. Once you have that skill, you can explore the biomes to your heart's content, find the essences, make multiple save files, play around with all that stuff, and just see what works for you and what doesn't work for the bosses, who are definitely going to be the bottlenecks in this game for you on a hard mode. But again, like, I feel like safety mode is fully, you know, completely fine. Like, I did that for my speedruns. I did that to see some of the other endings, you know, like, and I mean, I even did one of my speedruns on hard too. Like, once you're max leveled, hard mode is a cakewalk anyway, if you've been good about being efficient with your skills through those essences and the other systems, such as miracles. Anyhow, I'm just gonna assume this. You probably have a difficulty you like to stick to, and you should just pick that one. Don't let the game be ruined for you because some hardcore SMT player told you to play it on hard, or you're a fucking baby or some shit. Like, play it however you want to play it and find a way to enjoy it. Like, because, I mean, it's your money. You spend it on this game. You might as well have some fun with it, right? Like, come on. Anyway, the story is like one of those old 1980s choose-your-own-adventure books. Most of the choices are arbitrary. When you get to the end of the game, those choices that you've made throughout the game have no impact on most of the endings that you can get. There are 4 endings. 3 of them you can get regardless of your choices whatsoever. There is a 4th ending, and there's been some speculation as to what is required to get that 4th ending. I've been unable to test exactly what that is because I got what I call the true neutral, or the 4th, the hitting ending, whatever you want to call it, on my first try. But that's because my first run of the game, I did all the side quests, which I think is what's tied to it. So, in the speedrun Discord that I was in today, a lot of the people are agreeing that there are 4 Egypt quests that have to do with one of the gods that you'll meet roughly near the end of the game, so I don't want to get into spoiler territory. But if you do all the quests associated with that Egyptian god guy, and you kill the super boss, Shiva, then you're going to be in a spot where you're likely going to be offered that 4th hidden ending. So, skip ahead by like 30 or 40 seconds if you don't like spoilers, but essentially the way it works is, you'll be offered the same 3 ending choices. You need to choose the Destroy the Throne ending, and if you've done everything correctly, completed those side quests I mentioned earlier, you will receive an option later to change your mind to, I want to create a world for humans. So if you get that option, that's the hidden 4th ending. I don't think that was too spoilery, but I've gotten a lot of questions about that on my channel, so I wanted to try to clarify it a little bit, because I think I told a few people wrong information because it was still, like, evolving what precisely the unlock requirements were. Anyhow, so the way that I interpreted this story is, you're a new student in a new city. You're an everyman. You don't know anyone very well. I'm gonna try to be very unspoilery, but, like, essentially, something bad happens. Your teacher suggests that you walk home in a group with some people, and on your way out of the school, you'll be forced into walking home with a few people. Some of those people are going to compromise the philosophies, which will offer you a way to remake the world at the end of the game, and some of the other characters won't be really fleshed out unless you want to do the side stories. Either way, don't expect to make any new best friends in this game. SMT is first and foremost a game about making morally gray area decisions when the world faces a crisis, typically for your own benefit or for your own ideological benefit. It's mostly open-ended, and it wants you to confront or grapple with the norms of our society around you and to really question our society. It wants you to decide whether you should level up to level 99 and literally one-shot God with a freaking almighty attack. It wants you to decide if you want to unmake this world, perpetuate the philosophies of the world, or to do something kind of in between. So, you know, don't expect that you're going to make a lot of friends along the way. It's kind of like Highlander. There can only be one. Only one person qualifies to remake the world, and, you know, you're the main character to the game. Like, if you get to the end of the game, it's pretty much on you to decide how that's going to go without describing all the instances of ways it can go. Anyhow, as to more of the story, which I feel like isn't terribly spoilery, your character fuses with a demon. You gain some powers to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. Later on, you're forced to enter an organization that has a very clear goal in mind. Just know that you can choose to defy them if you wish. In fact, that organization does splinter off from the main organization, whether you choose to or not, so there's some twists and turns along the way, which is pretty cool. I'll be very honest, I personally loved every minute of time I spent with the game. It's going to be my new favorite soundtrack for a little bit. Hopefully I can pay for it. You know, I want to support the people who made that music, like, because it's, in my opinion, very good. The game has a couple hiccups. Most of the hiccups, I think, are due to the limitations of the Switch. There's already rumors that the game will be released for PC and PS4 or 5 down the line. So I look at it this way. In Japan, they released SMT 3. A couple years later, they released the Maniacs version of SMT 3 called Nocturne in the US, which had, you know, a new quest line, some new demons, things like that. And, you know, couple that with the fact that Atlas has been known to enhance versions of games and resell them. And I would say, being that it's going to probably land on some other platforms, that this isn't the final version of the game. So, if I had to rate it, and I only played through the game one time, I probably would have rated it a 7 or an 8 out of 10 with no half points. The reason for that is because I wasn't thinking about how this game was connected to the other games. So I ran through the game a couple more times, I got all the endings, and one of them kind of flabbergasted me. I thought it was super hilarious and very, like, I was happy the ending existed, for sure. But it kind of forced me to go back into the lore of SMT3 Nocturne, and when I did, there were so many connections to that game that I really feel like SMT5 should really be SMT3-2 in some ways. If the DLC for the Demi-Fiend was included in the base game, calling this SMT5 doesn't even make sense. It should just be SMT3-2, sort of a thing. But after completing the compendium, trying it on a couple other difficulties, seeing multiple endings, playing with a ridiculous amount of skills on a ridiculous amount of different kinds of demons, I have to up that score to easily a 9 or a 10 out of 10. And that's because it so heavily relies on prior source material for other SMT games that for some reason the first time I played through it I didn't grasp. I think it's because the way I approached the game the first time I played it was I skipped a lot of the cutscenes, and I was trying to get to the end so that I could do some of my YouTube videos in a timely manner so that they would be relevant in this hyper-competitive environment of uploading YouTube videos. So once I re-went through it and did my full SMT5 the movie video with all the cutscenes, I definitely, especially after re-going through some of my SMT3 videos, I have to say this game is pretty much a masterpiece on any difficulty, whichever difficulty you want to play it on. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to hear me out. This is like my first review video. I look forward to continuing to play the game. Like I said, I'm in that speedrun group for the routing and the rules that are being made for the various different categories that are being created. And there's going to be more to come. I'm very excited to see what else there will be. I'm very excited to see how the speedrunning and routing will change when these new versions of the game come out. I'm just ultimately very hopeful. Even for future iterations of the series, you know, it seems like this one's been commercially successful, which usually means there'll be sequels. And not only that, but it means that the elements from this game that are good, you know, some of those might find themselves in the newer games with a twist. So ultimately just very hopeful, very excited, and thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.